And if you don't mind, I'll demonstrate. First off, you start your knees and your hips at the top of the swing, lower part of your body. Arm and hand follow, bringing you into position to hit.
Yes, indeed. A big hello and welcome back all to the Course Language Podcast. All thanks to Callaway. If you're an existing member, welcome back. If you're joining us for the first time, great to have you on board. Sam Hargraves, golf commentator, Golf Tragic, joined as always by a man who played on the tour, he won on the tour, commentates on the tour, teaches others to hopefully do all of that and more one day as well. Ryan Lynch. Hello, mate.
Hello, Sammy. Beautiful weather, and we're into links season, mate. I can't wait for the professional golf going around. I wish there was a longer links season, but we're coming to my favourite time of the year, mate. Have you been playing much golf yourself?
I have, but can I just say that you have been like a little kid counting down Christmas over the last couple of weeks. Every message that we've talked about, what's coming up on the show, you're like, yeah, so links and this, and then it's links, and links is here, and links is here. Oh, you have been counting the sleeps, brother. You are just excited about what's to come. Scottish Open this week. Of course, the Evian on the LPGA as well. It's a major week too. But, geez, if you are not jumping up and down, waiting to unwrap the presents like of no one's business.
Got the US Senior Open as well, how we can have two majors. Is it the US Senior? One, there's a senior major as well this week as well, obviously. But, mate, because I've come back from this trip and it's the most recent patch of golf that I've played, I'm just absolutely frothing at the bit to get into major season and to get into links golf. As I said, just came back from it and had a ball while I was over there. I'm following the North Berwick Instagram page, and we've got all the major guys, all the Scotty Schefflers out there playing with the guys that we played with and playing these great links courses. And you can just see the enjoyment that the best players in the world have when they come to a golf course and come to a style of golf that actually tests their thinking and tests their creativity as well. So absolutely stoked for these couple of weeks, mate.
I have had a round myself this week, and it dawned on me, Lynchy, and if I didn't know this already, I have now resigned myself to the fact that golf has become an addiction, because Thursday I went down to the National to play Thursday comp with a friend of the pod and a mate of ours, Anthony Scott from Duckhook Golf, who are also part of the Callaway family, doing some great things on YouTube Golf, and they've done some stuff with us before as well. So I don't know if you remember last Thursday, but it was freezing cold. It was howling gale, rain coming in sideways, and I was driving through the weather to get there, and I ordered my coffee waiting for Scotty to arrive, and the young lady behind the bar said, "Are you really going out?" Like, there was no one else out on course. We saw one other group. She said, "Are you really going out in this?" And I said, "Yeah." And she goes, "Why?" And I went, "That's a really good question." And I looked at her and said, "Because I'm addicted." There's no other explanation, Lynchy, to play in conditions like that unless you just can't stop yourself, unless you just can't, you can't fight the urge back. So out we went, had an absolute ball. It was freezing. The rain was coming. We were saturated. We were laughing though like two little kids, having the best time out there. I think he had 35 and I had 33. Interestingly, playing Gunnamatta, we were playing off the silvers. It slowed me down. So I was playing off about 9, but I had 20 points on the back. Absolutely loved it. It's a great course. So much fun. You and I have played it together as well. Yeah. That's when I knew. That's when I knew that this is an addiction and I need help.
No, you've got the right attitude, mate. I think that's the point of golf. And hopefully, I mean, links season, as we keep talking about, let's hope that this is the kind of conditions that we start to get over the next couple of weeks. We want every aspect tested, every club tested in the bag. And mate, I'm glad that you went out there. Did you have enough towels? What were some of the things that you did to prepare yourself for it?
I had to change a jacket. So I had one jacket on at the start, one of the Travis Matthews, sort of it's half waterproof, half not. Then I went into the full waterproof Callaway that I've got. So I was okay in that regard. I was wearing the wrong pants. And I was probably a towel short, so hands are quite slippery at the end. Just to give you an idea of the wind, so that the second of the par threes that you play on Gunnamatta is the uphill par 3 that normally plays about 200 depending on the tees. It's the 5th, I think. No, anyway, 11th. It's the second of the 11th. There you go.
The 11th.
So it's uphill, and into a wind. It was 155 we had. So I actually pulled out 7-wood.
Yep.
And we hit this thing and we weren't even going to film because I'm doing your challenge that says I've got to film every par 3. And I said, don't bother getting the camera. There's nigga. And he goes, no, I'll get it. I struck this 7-wood and we both went, because it just soared majestically up into a wind that picked it up and threw it back at me. And it landed short of the green on a club that I normally hit 200. Like it was extraordinary. Maybe
That's
190
great.
the carry. Let's not get to 185 perhaps. But that was the win.
I mean,
but
that's golf, isn't it? I mean, how exciting, how fun. If you are one of those people that do go out in the rain and you brave it, full respect to you. I love that. And always worth having a Ziploc bag or a plastic bag that has your gloves in it, a spare towel inside a plastic bag, inside your golf bag. Try and keep everything as dry as humanly possible. But then sometimes it gets to the point where it just doesn't matter and you might as well have walked into a lake and you just got to enjoy it and get on with it, mate. I'm glad you had a great day. And speaking of that horrible weather and the conditions, I actually went and caught up with a couple of listeners of the pod last night and went and played some indoor golf. I don't do a heap of that, to be honest, but it was Alex Pitty's birthday. So we got together and went down to Golf Square. Brad Alton, one of the investors down there, and Big Red, Troy Murphy, he'll love a shout out. He listens every week.
hey.
He gave me a couple of confessionals that he's going to send through, but wasn't sure whether or not he needed to change his name or not. So if there are a couple of anonymous ones coming up, that's a shout out to Big Red. But we did do this really fun thing where there was about 12 of us and we went and did just a nearest to pin challenge. And the way that we worked it, everyone put in $20 or whatever. And we did a few of these things, but we all put in $20 and we went shot for shot, and each round, the furthest from the pin was eliminated. And it was a great way to go about things. So the furthest from the pin was eliminated every single round, not the nearest to pin. And then it got down to myself and Big Red. And I'm not ashamed to admit that Big Red pipped me in the head-to-head. So he picked up a couple $100 in the kitty. I went home with nothing. It was winner take all. But really haven't had a heap of experience with indoor golf. But I can understand why people enjoy doing it. So, hats off. It was a very fun night and a different way to play golf.
This is what we talked about not long ago, mate, that the rise in off-course golf, and whether it be simulators, driving ranges, or the experience that you had last night, and it's whenever you go, people are having a whole lot of fun. There's no real pressure on it. I don't think people beat themselves up too much for bad shots. It's just another way to bring people into golf that may not necessarily have had an inclination towards getting out on course. And it's like the Tiger and Rory, the T, what is it? TGF? That thing. That's the combining of, I can't remember, but all the
I was
teams
walking past it
sense.
at St Andrews. Yeah, exactly. No, I can't remember what it is because I'm getting confused with TGL and all that sort of stuff.
Yeah, but the rise in that, the gamers, bringing a live sport into a gaming sense, it's pretty exciting stuff. I'm glad you had a good time doing it. Before we get started and get into, there's a lot to get through. It's a major week, of course, for the women, the Evian, that spectacular in France at the Evian Resort Golf Club. Grace Kim, the defending champ. I want to start off each and every week because we're coming to people, Lynchy, for the first time on a Thursday as opposed to a Monday. Yeah. And part of what we wanted to do with this is not only to preview the golf that's happening at the highest level across the weekend, but get people prepared for the golf that they're going to be playing across the weekend. Yep. So with that in mind, we bump up all in the tips to have a very prominent part at the start of the show.
Yeah, absolutely. And I had a good time doing this and recording this with Nico, but this is one that I get a lot of questions about on the coaching tee about how do I practice my alignment? Okay, what is alignment? Is it where my feet are pointing? Is it where my eyes are pointing? All this sort of stuff. So one that you can do on the golf course and one that you should certainly practice is the most important part of your alignment is where your club face is pointing. Is your club face pointing in the direction that you want the ball to start? Because your ball will start where the club face is pointing. So head to our Instagram page. I've put up a little video to help demonstrate this. But when you're out there playing this weekend, or if you've got no swing thoughts or nothing in your mind and you're kind of thinking, okay, what should I try this week? Try picking a spot either in front of the ball or behind the ball that you want your ball to fly over. Okay, that doesn't necessarily mean that it needs to be at the pin. Might be at the center of the green, but align your club face to that particular start point and then align your feet so as that you're parallel to your club face. Okay, so club face is the most important thing. Get a feel for your start line, where you want the ball to start, and then you can align your feet in the direction somewhat if you wanted to play a little draw or a little fade. So if your club face is pointing in the direction you want the ball to start, you could aim your feet a little right, and that'll help promote a little draw. You could aim your feet a little left. It'll help promote a little fades. Your feet kind of dictate your swing direction, and your club face is king. That ball is going to start where your club face is pointing. So give that a try next time you're out there or this weekend, and certainly give it a try when you're at the driving range. Use a bucket, use another ball, just to get a bit of a sense as to where your start line actually is in relation to where your eye line is. Because your eye line obviously sits inside the line of the ball, and as do your feet. So give that a try, and hopefully that all made sense to you, Sammy.
No, it did. And is there a little sort of challenge or a little drill you can do once you've sorted that out, just to get used to, I suppose, because the whole idea of this is that it becomes just a little bit, not second nature, because we're playing on a weekend, but just to understand the difference in the feel. So for what you're talking about aiming feet right to then promote a draw, or left to promote the fade, is there just a little something you can do to get used to that feeling?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, just at the driving range, put something out in front of you, whether it be an alignment stick or a bucket, and start shaping the ball on the driving range. The more you start to shape the ball, the better your club face and path awareness will become. Heading to the driving range, we've said this a few times, and trying to hit 100 balls straight and reacting to each previous shot that didn't go straight. Yeah, you'll hit the second one straight or the third one straight, or you'll get on a bit of a run off a flat lie and the same club over and over again. But that's not necessarily how we play golf, and it's not necessarily how we build club face awareness. I think that we build club face awareness more based on hitting big shaping shots on the driving range, understanding what makes the ball curve and how to minimize the curve rather than trying to hit straight shots. So mix it up, go to the driving range, curve the ball from one side of the alignment stick, start the ball on the other side of the alignment stick. And it doesn't need to necessarily curve back to your target, but each time you try to create curve and it overdraws or it overfades or it doesn't draw enough and it doesn't fade enough, you're learning what that feel relative to path is.
I played down in Tassie with a guy, Aaron, when I played at Tasmania Golf Club, which is a great pub, one of the great public courses down there. Their 12th hole is absolutely stunning, hitting across the ocean. I've spoken about it on the pod before, but this bloke was playing on 4, and I said, so when did you get into golf? And he said, about 3 years ago. I said, you're on 4? And he goes, yeah, I went and had a lesson with a guy, and he goes, I'm not going to come back and have more lessons. Just give me one thing that I've got to go and do at the range. And the guy said, all right, fine. This is not how I normally do things, but go to the range and just try to hit a slice and try to hit a hook and try to hit a fade and then try to hit a draw and just keep doing that. And however way you want to do it. And sooner or later, you will figure out what straight feels like. This guy just hit straight, straight. And that's how he basically started out here and then just worked all the way back in here.
And if you want to start to, if you're at the advanced level where you know how to shape the ball, then start setting parameters to yourself. So your alignment might be, okay, I want the ball to finish on this flag, and I definitely don't want it to pass the flag. So if I'm hitting a draw as a right-hander, I don't want to overdraw this beyond the flag. Start setting little challenges for yourself. Or, okay, I'm going to set my challenges. The flag is this pole, but I can't finish right of the pole. I've got to overdraw it, if anything. And start to practice that sort of stuff. I guarantee you, in the long run, if you do that enough times, it'll make you better.
Let's get into around the grounds.
Par putt for a playoff. And it's not going to happen. And Chris Gotterup is your champion at the John Deere Classic.
So, Lynchy, we're not going to spend a whole lot of time on this because we're fairly sure that if you don't know the results by now, you're probably not that interested. But a couple that jumped off the page this week. The John Deere Classic, always popular with the pros. Chris Gotterup wins for the 3rd time this year. It's his 4th win in about 24 starts, his 5th PGA win. Rockin, is there a player in better form at the moment and on a sharper rise in professional golf than Chris Gotterup?
Yeah, he won this event last year as well, the Scottish Open, obviously. A spectacular year to this point. It does pose a question. We spoke about it last week in terms of the tour and the way that they're going in terms of 2028. We're going to sort of track 1 and track 2. Chris Gotterup probably wouldn't be playing this event if you're assuming that the John Deere is going to be going to a Track 2 event, whatever you want to call it. Challenger Series is what they've kind of named it at the moment. So Chris Gotterup would probably have won 2 events this year that are going to be Challenger Tour events, which he would be ineligible to play. So it does start to beg the question as to, okay, well, does Chris Gotterup become a better player because he's winning these second-tier events? He won Phoenix this year as well, which is probably going to be a championship event. But it does beg the question, okay, well, what's this going to have? What kind of effect is this ecosystem going to have on the overall game and people's ability to improve and all this sort of stuff? But he's a big game player. I mean, when he gets near the lead, he is somebody to look out for. When he's feeling it, he certainly goes out and gets it done. He's not necessarily, I don't think, the most reliable player. He's not somebody that you're necessarily going to be like, yep, put him in my tips this week for sure. A little bit like Brooks Koepka in terms of majors. You don't know when he's going to show up, but when he does, he gets it done. I mean, I think he's 6th on the FedEx Cup and he's won 3 times this year. So it does show that he's quite volatile, but when he gets a sniff, he's hard to beat.
The DP World Tour, all Aussies missed the cut, unfortunately. Michael Hollick won the BMW International. But in Europe, Lynchy, great news again. And what a season Kelsey Bennett was lucky enough to call her first real big win. It was the Australian Women's Classic that she won in great fashion. She's had another second place finish. She's solidified her spot within the top 3 on the LET Order of Merit, finishing second behind Carolina Chikara. She started the final round with a couple of shot lead, but another fantastic performance from a 26-year-old who, again, just having such an exciting year. It's a breakout year for her, and she's about to play her first ever major at the Evian. Yeah,
so exciting. Obviously, Grace Kim, as an Aussie, went really well there last year. Hopefully she builds on this. I mean, it can go one of 2 ways as a professional. When you've got a 2-shot lead and you're looking for your first win, it can be a little bit deflating, I must say. It depends on who she's got in her team. I'm sure she will be taking all the positives out of this. It's exciting to see such a young talent, obviously performing really well. She's been playing well this year, and she's the type of player that I think will work out really well at the Evian with those weird lies. And I mean, it almost feels like it's played on the side of a hill this week. And she's creative. She's got all the skills that will allow her to play well this week, I think, and in good form. It just depends on how you walk away from a week like this. Does it feel like a defeat, or do you look at the way, or take a leaf out of Tommy Fleetwood's book and say, all right, great that I've put myself in this position, keep building, something's going to fall for me shortly. So it all comes down to mindset, but I'm excited to see her participate this week.
Yeah, she grew up playing mollymook, so, talk about slopes and trying to work your way in and around tree-lined fairways. So, hopefully there's another. You tell me, what's the big tick? I mean, everyone's got their own personal goals. Is it make the cut? Is it be in contention? Is it just soak in everything from your first major experience and then see where that leaves you at the end of it? I mean, I think she signed in. There was a story today that she signed in and sat next to Nelly Corder to do it. So she's already rubbing shoulders with the very best.
Yeah, and that becomes the challenge now, is that she's up to that next step. You're up to that next stage where Nelly Corder is no doubt someone that she looks up to, but she's on level pegging with her this week. She's got to believe that she can beat her, and that happens through repetition and actually getting the job done. So she's got to beat the best in the world a few times at these big events to build that confidence that is required to play at the highest level. I never got the opportunity to play a major, unfortunately, but if I relate it to like Australia's majors and the first time I played the Australian Open, it was overwhelming. The golf course was big. You're just kind of happy to be there. It's really, really easy to spend a lot of time on the driving range and the short game area and the putting green and sort of get yourself out of your own routine that has made you the player that you are. So it's really important that you stick to your own routines. I know Lucas Michel spoke about that the first time he played a US Open. Jeff Ogilvy's mentioned the same thing. The first time you're playing the Masters, it's really easy to get sucked into spending a heap more time at the golf course than you really need to. So it's about building that awareness and practicing just staying in your own little bubble, not needing to be there all the time, because it is brilliant to be at these huge venues and these huge occasions with crowd around and balls and food's good and you've got no reason to leave, really. It's just so exciting. There's a buzz around the place. I couldn't imagine playing in something like the Masters and being able to leave the driving range or leave that facility to head to your hotel room. But that becomes part of the challenge, and then building the belief from there is the next step, obviously.
Well, let's get stuck into our preview of the Evian Championship. And we're going to do something a little different this week at the end of all of this. Instead of just putting our tips or our top 4 selections, we're actually going to look down the lines of betting. And we're going to randomly throw up 2 players on the same odds. And we're just going to take it in terms of getting to pick schoolyard style of who's going to make up our team. 3 from the Evian, 3 from the Scottish. Lowest score under par combined wins. And then next week there's going to be a challenge set for the loser. Sound good?
Yeah. Absolutely. And just to specify as well, so there'll be a little bit of a challenge, but if your player misses the cut, then that becomes the maximum score, or the cut line becomes the maximum score. So, for example, let's say you select Rory McIlroy and he makes the cut, and the cut was 6 over, and Rory ends up playing poorly over the weekend and shoots 10 over. The maximum score he can have is the cut line, so you don't get penalised for players making the cut but shooting poorly on the weekend.
No, that's very fair. That's very fair.
It should be fun.
Well, so, Lynchy, this is a major that Australia's got a great affinity with, whether it be Rachel Hetherington, Wendy Doolan, Carrie Webb won it before it was a major, but Minjee Lee, Grace Kim last year, who it will be part of golfing folklore now internationally, the way that, and we actually had a scramble about it last year, was the way that Rory won at Augusta, or the way Grace Kim won the Evian. Eagle to make the playoff, birdie with the chip in after finding the hazard to keep the playoff going, and then eagle to seal the deal to beat Gino Titicun. It was one of the all-time head-to-heads. And Minjee actually finished a shot back from the playoff. So we've got a great history at this major, and Grace Kim comes as a defending champion in a way, as I said, that will live on in golfing folklore for a very, very long time.
Yeah, no doubt about that. It was very exciting last year. I mean, when the last hole is a reachable par 5, I don't think there's any better finishing or crescendo to a professional golf event. There's just so much that can happen. I mean, Grace Kim could have made bogey just as easily as she made birdie on that playoff hole. Just remarkable chip in. European Tour did a great little video of people trying to recapture that chip in. Go and check that out. That was very funny as well. Or not very funny, but very good.
I think Steph Bunky did it, didn't she?
Did she? I
think she did.
Did she really? Wow, that's
awesome.
Yeah,
she did. And there was a nice caption too that said, "Everybody wants to chip in from where Grace Kim did, except for Grace Kim."
Put a plaque down there. I mean, this
they did.
This is. Did they really?
They have. They put a plaque there in honor.
I did not know that.
Yeah, I think
my
it's
God,
on the tree.
Geez, I'm behind here.
Yeah.
That is awesome.
Yeah,
so
it's pretty exciting. Yeah,
brilliant. Oh, geez, I'm behind on this recap. Then that's for sure. But look, it is growing in stature. It's a major because of the money that's sort of been thrown into it. It's the most recent major in the women's game. It's the most recent major in the game of golf. But I think it's growing in interest. I think the golf course is quirky enough that it seems pretty fun. I'm not sure there's many better places to be in the world than France at this time of year as well. So it's got everything going
Geneva
for it.
In the background. Yeah, it's pretty idyllic, isn't it?
Absolutely. So I'm looking forward to watching the women play some of these shot-making shots off these side hill lies and having to actually play their ball. Other than just sort of flat lies and spinning the ball on the greens, there's some funky putts that you get, and there's some intrigue about how things work down the stretch in particular. So I'm looking forward certainly to the final round more than anything else because it does produce drama, Sammy.
Nelly Korda looking to make it 3 out of 4 of the majors is probably the biggest story heading in to the tournament. we've got 8 Aussies playing. As I said, we've had 5 winners of this. Last year we had 3 in the top 10, 4 in the top 20. So Hannah Green, Minjee Lee, Carice Davidson, Robin Choi, Grace Kim, Cassie Porter, Gabby Ruffles, and Kelsey Bennett are our representatives. So that's a healthy lineup of Aussies at this major. Unfortunately, Steph Kiriakou not playing, but she was right in the mix of this event a couple of years ago. So what's the secret to unlocking it? And which of the Aussies, when you talk about the slope lies and the way that this course sets up, who do you feel is well suited to it?
Yeah, good question. I mean, look, I hope all the Aussies win. I think that, as you said, Nelly Corder is the big story, but it's, I mean, look, Kelsey Bennett, after last week's performance, if she's got the right attitude and as you spoke about growing up in Mollymook, and it wouldn't surprise me for her to contend really deep this week. Look, I always lean towards players like Hannah Green and Minjee Lee from an Australian perspective. Obviously, they're tried and true. So if I was picking somebody, it's going to be a ball striker and somebody who's willing to shape the ball both ways and can catch the middle of the face off those side hill lies.
It's interesting enough, as I mentioned before, when all the Aussies were trying to chip in to replicate what Grace Kim did last year with that birdie to keep the playoff rolling, Steph Bunky, who I mentioned, she actually came top 10 at this course back in May when they had the French Open there. But Kelsey Bennett played in that as well because it was an LET event, finished top 20. So I'm sure that gives her plenty of confidence that she's done okay at the course, takes a bit of that into what's to come this week. Should be pretty exciting. I mean, what does that familiarity do for your confidence levels?
Well, I mean, anytime you've played the golf course before, it takes that pressure off again. Means that you probably don't need to spend as much time at the golf course, as tempting as it is. As I said, if you've played the golf course numerous times, try not to overdo it because it's mentally taxing, those big events. But we can get into our tips and selections in just a little bit, Sammy.
Well, let's have a look at the Scottish Open before we do that, Lynchy, before we get our 3 and 3 from both these tournaments, because you're jumping out of your skin, as you said. It is links season. And the Scottish Open, it has a great feel and vibe to it. I've just been watching all the videos come through. It's not Rory interacting with all the fans. The players seem to love to be there. You know, Scotty Scheffler talking about the fact that he loves to come to these places, and if more of the National Opens get more prominence then and are actually more financially inviting, then he'd love to play in more of them, which is good news considering you mentioned Australia and New Zealand in that for us. So there's already a great love of and affinity with this event from the entire golfing community. It is one of the must-watch tournaments of the year.
Yeah, well, that East Lothian area is just chock full of incredible golf courses. And as I said off the top, you've got all the best players in the world just looking very happy playing at these incredible links golf courses. Obviously, I'm absolutely jacked after being over there a few weeks ago and seeing the types of shots that they're playing around there. And the Renaissance Club, albeit it's a new venue, Tom Doak designed, it has provided a lot of drama over the last few years, and it's been an interesting watch. Chris Gotterup, obviously your eventual winner last year, but who could forget Rory McIlroy pipping Robert McIntyre in close finishes. Bobby Mack hitting that incredible 5-wood or whatever it was, and Rory making birdie down the last to pip him. Then Bobby Mack the next year when I believe Adam Scott was involved, finding that sprinkler head in that bush, in that heather, and getting a drop and knocking it on the green for 2 in that par 5 on the way in as well. It provides quite a bit of entertainment, and it's just always great to see the best players in the world play on golf courses that you don't see them play very often.
No, Xander Schauffele has won this in recent years. Minwoo Lee has won this event in recent years. So we always get really, really good winners from this tournament as well. And the course looks great on television too. And I say it over and over again, and I'm a broken record on it. But if a course is visually quite stunning, I think it makes the tournament so much more enjoyable to watch. Sometimes and you've said this, some courses you don't know how good they are until you've been there and play them, and you go, oh shit, that's what that is. But some of them you just look at and they really do gussy up nicely for television. And I reckon this course is one of them.
Yeah, well, I think this sort of becomes part of what it takes to better yourself at golf, but also to understand the sport a little bit more. Is that, albeit you could be excused for flicking on the Open Championship and not being able to differentiate holes from in certain golf courses and at certain times. And sometimes links golf can kind of run together a little bit on TV, with some of the links land being what seemingly quite flat. But I implore anyone who's going to watch these events, or anyone who's interested in the game, to just go and do just a little bit of research. There are so many videos and so many great media personalities doing reviews of these golf courses, and just start to understand the intricacies of the shots and the types of winds that affect different angles into greens, where the pot bunkers sit. You can go and watch a little flyover of most golf courses these days of drone footage, and get at least a little bit of a feel of the way that the land moves, and get a bit of a feel for the style of golf that it is over there. And I promise you, you will not be disappointed if you go and do a little bit of that research, like at Shinnecock Hills a couple of weeks ago for the US Open, just doing a little bit of research on the golf course, as we always say, that is the main character and the main draw card of what we're actually tuning in to watch professional golfers tackle. Just a little bit of research and it'll do you the world of good. You'll be so much more intrigued, so much more interested in the types of shots that they've got ahead of them, and it'll just make the viewing experience more enjoyable for you.
Well, Lynchy, you sent us a video where Jordan Spieth and Justin Thomas, who were down the road at North Berwick, but doing exactly what you've talked about, like going and getting themselves reacclimatized to the style of golf that they're about to play, using different clubs from different ranges, working on, and it was mainly short game stuff, but that's probably one that's worth having a look at as well, just to show what the pros do before they set about trying to do what they need to do to perform well at a specific venue, and even at a similar venue.
Yeah, I think that, there's no shortage of content coming out of these places, but exactly that video kind of highlights the childlike fun that you can have at these golf courses, the options that they provide, be it ground or aerial. You can take your pick, but you could see in that video that I sent through, and we can repost that, Jordan Spieth going aerial, hitting flop shots, running up, getting his ball, trying to hit it again. You've got Justin Thomas from 2 feet away trying to bump and run an 8-iron up the slope and run it into position. Both of those guys thought that they had the right clubs in their hand, and just boyhood, sort of childlike excitement and enthusiasm to hit that shot. That's that kind of creativity that gets the juices flowing, and that's what these golf courses really do provide. And I'm not saying that, American style golf or non-ground golf is not good. They're just different, right? So you just want to pull that shot off, and I feel like around these golf courses, the want and the excitement to play those shots is just heightened because of the options and the variety and the bounce and the skill that it takes to be able to play all of those shots. And as we said in the US Open preview, it's those options that actually create doubt in the best players' minds, because they can hit all those shots, and all of those shots are the correct shot to play. But that's where the doubt starts to creep in. Am I choosing the right one? Am I fully committed to this, Sammy? It's just fascinating stuff.
It reminded me of Gary Ablett Jr. and Stevie J used to put videos up, Geelong used to, back when they were playing, where they would just stand with a ball and go, right, you got to kick it to that bin. And all the different ways that they try to do it, like a double bounce, like a little dribble and a pop, like the way that they were able to craft a football, and just, again, like little kids just trying to kick a ball at a bin, but all of the professionalism and all that, it was just why they loved the game. They were just having so much fun doing the thing. And I reckon the venues, Lynchy, because they're so old, like you just feel like you've gone to another place. Like you were there. Like, did you feel like you were just in a magical far away? There's something quite, I don't know, escapism about it all. That even that you're a pro, but you just find yourself caught up in the magic of the place.
Yeah, I think it's where it was born. It's part of the fabric of the towns. It's part of the fabric of the people. The people walking their dogs on the golf course. It's public land. You're welcome to it, and it's just a different vibe. It's a totally different feel. There's no big gates around these incredible golf courses. There's no one stopping you at the front to not let you in unless you've got a tee time. It's part of the town. Everyone embraces it, and there's something special and remarkable about that, and you kind of don't get that sense until you've been there. And again, I implore anyone who is interested in this game to at some stage in your life go and experience what it's like for golf to be just part of the everyday fabric in these places. Okay, Sammy, so you alluded to this. We didn't make our selections in the preview part of the pod there. We're saving it for this. This is a little schoolyard. You pick, I pick, you pick, I pick. We've selected players that are very similar in market betting, and we're going to run through total score, as we said earlier in the show. And there might be a little challenge for the loser of this event. So 3 from the Evian, 3 from the Scottish Open this week, mate. How are we going to decide who goes first?
I have here the Callaway ball marker. We'll toss the Callaway coin. So heads is Callaway, tails is the triple track. Here, you get the call.
Okay.
Coin is up.
In the air, I'm going to take heads.
Heads it is.
Okay.
All right.
So you get the first selection.
Well, the first bracket is Nelly Corder and Gino Tinakun, last year's runner-up.
Oh, I like it. Bit of a good course fit for Gino, but I can't go past Nelly. She's been playing too well, so I am going to take the number 1 player in golf at the moment. Nelly Corder is my first selection. I'm happy with that one, mate.
All right.
Okay, so you've got Gino. On to the second. You get the choice here. So we're going Hyoju Kim and Lottie Wode.
Oh, definitely Lottie Wode. She was, I reckon, equal third, if I'm not mistaken, last year. It was a breakout. I think it was her first pro tournament.
Just turned pro, yeah.
Yeah, she just turned pro, and geez, look at her absolutely meteoric rise up the ranking. So I'll definitely take Lottie Wode there.
Okay, I'm not disappointed with Hyoju. I think we can go well this week. All right.
And let's get a bit of an Australasian flavour into this. Lydia Ko or Hannah Green, both on the same line of betting.
Oh, I love this one. Very good. Give me Lydia Ko.
Oh,
I'm going to take Lydia.
Definitely take Hannah Green. No, I'm happy to have Hannah Green.
I'm riding with our New Zealand buddies this week. Love it.
All right,
So
Gino, Lottie Wode, and Hannah Green are my 3, and you've got
Nelly Corder, Hyoju Kim, and Lydia Ko.
That tournament underway as we're speaking right now, but this will set you up for a big weekend as well. Right, on to the Scottish Open, which means that, you've got the first bracket then.
So the first bracket is the top line of betting. Rory McIlroy or Scotty Scheffler?
I'm going to go Scotty. It's just been too long since he's won. He doesn't go this long without a win. No, I'm going again. I'm going again on Scotty. That might be the dumbest, given form of Rory's form, my selection there. How funny is that me picking Scotty Scheffler might actually be a dumb pick?
Oh, I don't know. I mean, Scotty's floor is just so high. He still contends even when he doesn't play well. But worthwhile noting, I think that this golf course really does suit bombers. Guys like Chris Gotterup, who absolutely smashes the ball. As we said, Minwoo Lee is a big ball hitter. Rory McIlroy, a big ball hitter. So this is a big ballpark. Marco Penge is another guy who's played well here over the last couple of years. So big ballpark. And that's where we will continue. So your choice here, mate. That being said.
Yeah, you've got a choice between Ludwig Åberg or Matt Fitzpatrick.
This is a great one. Matty Fitz not short and playing probably one of the best 3 players on the planet at the moment, Matty Fitz. But I'm going, after wrapping that whole thing and talking about how important length is at this golf course, I can't go against Ludwig Åberg.
I'm happily taking Fitzpatrick there, just with the form that he's in.
Yeah. Last one.
Good. You've got the last bracket.
Well, I just mentioned this bloke, so might be handing one to you here, but Marco Penge and JJ Spawn. JJ won a major last year.
Sorry, JJ. You've just on a platter. You've given me Marco on a platter. Geez, you're a good bloke. No, I'm definitely taking Marco. There we go. Right. So, selections and the lowest score wins. I've got Gino Tinakun, Lottie Wode, Hannah Green, Scotty Scheffler, Matt Fitzpatrick, and Marco Penge. Your team?
Nelly Corder, Hyoju Kim, Lydia Ko, Rory McIlroy, Ludwig Åberg, and JJ Spawn are mine. Let's hope all make the cut and all are in contention this week, mate, to make it enjoyable.
All right, beautifully done. Hey, let's get into the scramble.
I don't want a piece of you. I want the whole thing. I'm a great scramble partner.
I don't want a piece of you. I want the whole thing.
Yeah, I did a few things here and there.
Lynchy, a bit happening in and around the world of golf, as we mentioned, just to run through a couple of storylines that have been happening over the course of the week, and I'm keen to get your take on it. Liv being sued. I don't know why I'm not surprised by this, but it's according to ESPN, Premier Golf League and World Golf Group, a couple of companies based out of London, are suing Liv, saying that they essentially stole their IP and stole the idea of Liv Golf off them. They reckon that Premier Golf is essentially it's essentially dot point for dot point of what that league wanted to be and what the Liv tour ended up being. 210 to 630 million they're seeking in compensation. The suit's been filed in London. Things just getting a little harder for Liv as they're still trying to stay alive and continue on that tour next year.
Yeah, absolutely. Not surprised by this. This has been in the works for a really long time. The Premier Golf League actually did, the owner or one of the owners of the Premier Golf League who had this idea many years ago, had a great conversation with the guys at No Laying Up. Worthwhile going back, listening to that. He basically dot pointed it all in that podcast as well. So I know that they've been working very hard on this lawsuit, and it's obviously taken them this long to get to the point where they feel like they've got a compelling enough case. But exactly right, this is not good timing and not good news for Liv Golf. But we'll be keeping a close eye on that. It is very, very similar to what they were actually trying to take to the PGA Tour, and the PGA Tour wouldn't even give them an interview. So it'll be fascinating to watch, Sammy. I'm kind of half barracking for this. It'll be really, really fascinating to see what the PGA Tour would do if Jon Rahm or if Tyrrell Hatton were able to win this week, being that it's a co-sanctioned PGA Tour event as well as a DP World Tour event. So what happens next year as a winner on tour? It'll be very fascinating. It's going to be fun to watch.
We've sort of buried the lead there, haven't we? We've buried the lead on what that actually means if one of those guys win. Do they even know? Has anyone put their hand up in a meeting this week and gone, hey, what if they win? What if one of those...
I'm sure it's been discussed, but I think it'll be across that bridge when we come to it.
What do you think should happen? I mean, is it written anywhere? I mean, can I Google that and find it?
No, the PGA Tour wouldn't know.
Right now.
There's no way they would know. There's no way they would know. They don't know whether or not they're going to come back. They don't even have anything in place in terms of a returning pathways for anyone from Liv right now. So that's news to come, but it'll be fascinating. It'll be a very fascinating watch this week. Keep your eye on the Liv guys, because they'll be desperate to get a PGA Tour win under their belt the year prior to everything potentially all falling arse out there. But it'll be
it's the first time they've all come back together other than a major. So I'm cheering for that now. I'd actually forgotten about that. I am cheering for that just because of the popcorn. Just like, now what?
Now what? Absolutely.
Oh man, that's huge. Scotty Scheffler, speaking so glowingly about the changes that are going to come in 2028, talking about those National Opens, and if they can be elevated to a point where the money and, weighing up time away from family, which he values so much, and all of that, then how excited he would be to come out and play in Australia or New Zealand. And I just wonder down the track, Lynchy, where, you've talked about link season. I just wonder if more of those current Americans come out and then you're still tinkering with how it looks. What does a link season look like? What does a sandbelt season look like, perhaps?
Yeah.
The idea of playing, and there's different, like tennis does this. It's clay season. So you've got events that build up to the French Open that are all on clay. There's grass court season. There's events that build up to Wimbledon, which is on at the moment, on the hard court as well. Gee, I wonder, can golf look around, or if there is going to be a world tour, maybe that's what you look at as well, that if we're going to be on the road, then let's do a stint. This is sandbelt season. This is link season. This is, I just wonder what opportunities might present.
Well, it'll be also TBD, I would imagine, Sammy, but you're exactly right. We should of course have that. It's a worldwide sport, and that's exactly what should happen. But the PGA Tour is a little bit American-centric, isn't it? Anyway.
Just before we get into a new segment we're going to roll out this week on Course Language, all thanks to Callaway, the other great story that I was really happy to see is that the Open Championship, in light of recent events at Ryder Cups, the players, and obviously most recently with Wyndham Clark, what he copped from fans. I think golf's had enough. So the Open Championship, we're going to promote a code of conduct, and it is respect the players, respect the links, respect each other, be aware and enjoy responsibly. This is a response to crowds just getting out of hand and sort of forgetting why they're there in the first place. It started out as get in the hole and give me back my son, to now we're just abusing players who are putting on the show that you paid money to go and see, you dickhead. So good on him.
Doesn't
How they police it, I don't know.
Yeah, it doesn't happen as much, as I said, with golf as part of the fabric of the town and the people.
No.
They understand the etiquette that is required. I'd be very surprised if anything untoward sort of happened over the next couple of weeks. And I just want to give a quick shout out as well to Kazuma Kobori while it's on my mind. He's playing this week, past Order of Merit winner, champion on the Australasian Tour. He Monday qualified into the Open Championship, so he's got 2 weeks in a row. Looking forward to watching him compete over the next couple of weeks as well. I regretfully didn't shout that out when we were going around the ground. Sorry, Sammy.
Absolutely fine. I reckon with those signs, Lynchy, that most of the golf fans over in that part of the world, as you say, are just going to read it and go, yeah, no shit.
Yeah.
I think this is more about maybe just letting some other people know in a certain other part of the world how you do and don't conduct yourself. Hey, new segment that we're going to do on Course Language, all thanks to Callaway. We're going to call this Gimme or Putt That. Just a quick fire. We're going to throw some statements or questions at each other, and just like you would on the green, you're going to gimme, you can pick that up and run with it, or
that's a yes.
I'm going to make you putt that. That's a yes, and
that's
putt that, that's a no. And if we require a little bit more, one of us, you're able to say, give me a read on that. If you just want a little bit more clarification, so you give us the line that you're seeing when it comes to whether that's a gimme or you're going to make us putt that. So given that you got the first selection before, maybe I might take it for this one, and I'll get the new ball and get rolling. So pretty easy one. Gimme or putt that. Balls landing in a divot should be free relief.
No, putt that. Absolutely not.
Going against Jack Nicklaus there.
No, putt that. Golf's not meant to be fair. It's meant to be fun, and that's part of the charm. My first question to you, Sammy, the PGA Tour will be better for the changes coming in 2028 for spectators and fans?
Gimme. That's a gimme, because it's been done with the fans in mind, and again, it's been done with their TV rights deal that's up in a couple of years, I think. Yeah, it coincides with all of that. So they are looking to put these things in and sell it to get much bigger price from the networks. So that's a big gimme.
Okay.
DP World Tour should cancel the top 10 getting exemptions onto the PGA Tour.
No, I'll watch you putt that. I understand that something needs to be done. If the top 10 get into the championship track, that puts them at least on level pegging with the challenger track. And I think that's the position that the DP World Tour are probably going to have to take. But if they are relegated to third or level with any other tours, and this strategic alliance continues to devalue their tour, and they keep devaluing their tour by losing their best players, and there's no elevation or I would love to see some sort of level of, from championship track, you get the option to play challenger or DP World Tour. I would love that, or as we've spoken about before, a potential world tour, but no, not right now. I'm going to watch you putt that. That's a no for me. So my third, my swing here. This is poignant to this week. It's only a positive winning the event before a major.
Gimme.
Yeah.
Gimme. I don't know what the stats are, actually.
Hard to go back to back.
That's a good point. Who was the last person to win the Scottish Open and then win? Hang on, did Xander?
I'm not sure who the last time someone went back to back, winning the week before and then winning the major the following week. But, look, never a bad time to lose, to be fair.
To have a look at the lie again on that, if you ask me again. But I took Gimme. Here's one for you. Off the back of last night, State of Origin, what a finish to that series. You need to copyright and cash in on your State of Origin concept for golf right now.
We'll
Where's
see
Nick
that.
Dusty? Get Nick, get Gavin Kirkman, get James Sutherland in here and pitch him that idea.
Yeah,
It's a
look,
winner.
it's one thing to have an idea, it's another thing to implement it. So if anyone wants to jump on board and help me sponsor that idea, I think it's got legs. I'm happy to have that out in the ethos as long as there's some, as long as there's this was Ryan Lynch's idea at some stage. I'm not the first person to have it, but no, I don't need to run out and copyright it, Sammy.
Given
Okay.
the time of year that, hang on, just on that.
Sorry.
You know, I'm such a dork. I'm such a nerd for this. I went back and did the teams last night. I was up to all hours because you based it on finishing position in the order of merit. I then added a caveat to it that you hold your spots open for if your best international players can make it back as well. But I just went through and did the teams and then started to think of legends that could be like honorary captains in and around New South Wales, whether it be the Johns brothers or Steve Waugh, or Queensland, get Gordon Tallis or Wally Lewis or Alan Border, or the actual Cam Smith rugby player, and then Cam Smith can come back and play. That'd be great. Victorian State of Origin greats, Hodgie or Dermot Brett or Joel Selwood, Lee Matthews, Glenn. I got so into this last night that I was up for 3 hours longer than I needed to be because I got so excited about it. And the teams are really interesting, and we'll do it another time, but you've got to get that going, my friend. You've got to get that going.
That can be part of the questions next week. Maybe we'll do a bit of a deep dive after the preview of the Open Championship. But I think it's got some legs.
Bloody oath it does. Your question.
My question. We need more golf on the big stage played on links turf, on links golf courses at the professional level.
Yeah, that's a gimme. That's a gimme. That is a gimme. As I said, like a links season, a links phase of the season, I think would be gripping. Would be so good to watch.
Yeah.
But it's just whether they're happy to be off American soil for long enough to let it happen.
Yeah, I probably should have said at the very tippy top level, because the DP World Tour obviously still have the Irish Open and still play a number of events on links land. So you can tune in there, and that's maybe what they've got over the PGA Tour. Your question, mate?
If you finish the US Open and then didn't have those, and then jump straight across the pond and then have 3 events that culminates with the 4th being the Open Championship, that's a great month. So
it is.
Yeah, that's a gimme.
The problem that you've got is that, like, these names need to change. So this is Scottish Open this week, but if it goes to a championship level event on the PGA Tour, then it can't be called the Scottish Open because it's not an Open Championship. It's a closed championship, basically a Scottish Invitational or the Genesis Invitational or whatever. Because it's not an Open Championship anymore, so it's not a National Open anymore. Because a National Open should have amateurs and people from their nation competing in their Open, so they'll have to change the name. But food for thought.
A change of order up here off the back of that. Then off the back of that, National Opens should be classified as just one step down from a major.
That's a gimme. Yep, totally
Done. Your question?
Say no more on that one. So they were a little bit of the PGA and the professional side of things. I've got one for you here that's a little bit more relevant for everyone. You would rather hit a tee shot than a putt to save your life. Is that a yes or a no? You've got to hit the fairway, and I'm going to say it's a 6-footer. So statistically speaking, a 70% chance of making it. I'm
going to putt that. Literally, I'm going to putt that. I just went to the range earlier, I'm just having some dramas with the drive. Best driver on the market, by the way, the Quantum there. But I'll just getting myself. I've changed the alignment a little. I'm just getting used to it. A
6-foot putt and hitting a fairway is pretty close to tour average in terms of equal chance. So 70% maybe for both. Your final question, Sammy, is it?
Australia will have another major winner before 2030.
I'm going to take a technicality, and I'm going to say absolutely it's a gimme, because I think the women's side we will absolutely get another major. It's harder to see on the men's side whether or not we will get another major champion, but by God, I hope it's a gimme. We'll wait and see. My final one, Sammy, golf trip with the boys over attending a US Open.
Can we all go to can the boys trip be to the US Open? Putt that.
No.
Golf trip with the boys.
Go to a US Open.
That. No, sorry.
Oh, sorry.
No, I'll go to the golf.
Go to the golf trip with the boys.
I'll go to the golf trip.
Yeah.
I'll go to the golf trip.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
No, very good stuff. I enjoyed that, mate.
All right.
Good
Yeah,
stuff.
that was good fun.
5
If
new
you've
ones
got-
next week.
And if you've got any suggestions for those, courselanguagepodcast@gmail.com, just any questions you've got that you want to throw up for Gimme or Putt That, at Course Language Pod on Instagram or courselanguagepodcast@gmail.com. Lynchy, we always like to finish off with something that's going to put a smile on our face. Not that all of this game doesn't do that often enough as it is, but course language confessional time.
Okay, this week, thank you very much for all of your entries. Really appreciate everyone sending in. Happy to announce that this was the selected course language confessional for this past few weeks, and it's Stoney from Yarra Bend. I'm going to read it out to him. Look, the confessional as well was partly that he won the monthly medal recently and puts it all down to listening to the Course Language podcast. So good on you, Stoney. Thanks for listening, mate.
Yeah,
and thanks for
flattery will
writing
get you
in.
everywhere, Stoney.
No, it's
Give him
very
all
good.
6 hats.
Yeah, exactly right. Congratulations, mate. We'll get it out to you. So he writes, a lot of golfers might have similar experiences to me. I recently read a stat about how far golfers can be from the green to hit the green in regulation at a 50-50 rate. So roughly around 200 meters for pros. Scratch level is 160 meters-ish, and 10 handicaps from around 100 meters. He writes, I often miss several greens around from the middle of the fairway around 100 meters out, and then I make birdie from the trees with a low percentage hook, 140 meters around the trees. Not commonplace, but happens enough for me to notice. I don't think I'm being unreasonable against the stats perhaps, but expecting to hit most greens from 100 meters out as a 5 to 6 handicapper, am I out of the realm here? Stoney, I think this is a really interesting one, and I think that this actually does ring true for a lot of good golfers and a lot of players at your level. At 5 to 6, you've got to the point where, like, this is where it gets really hard. From getting from 5 to 6 to scratch is almost as difficult, I would say, as getting from, say, 15 to 5 or 6. Like the really tough work sort of starts to come now. And I know I see him down there regularly. He practices a lot, and I don't think this is uncommonplace. I would say that if you are practicing and you feel like you're hitting less greens from that makeable hit range, either pay attention to what your target line is. It's not always the pin that is the finishing point that you want to be hitting, even from 100 meters. And what this says to me, if you're hitting greens and making birdies from 140 meters out, and you've got to hit a hook, or you've got to hit a punch shot, or you've got to change a variable, what often happens is you get a lot more locked into a type of shot or a type of trajectory. So you can feel the shot. You've got more awareness of what you're actually trying to do. Often from the middle of the fairway, from 100 meters out, you can switch off a little bit and half not pay attention to what trajectory am I trying to hit this? What land distance exactly am I trying to pitch this? What kind of flight do I need to execute this shot correctly? So be a little bit more picky on the trajectory and the exact number that you want to pitch the ball from the middle of the fairway. Try and get yourself as involved in that shot as you are involved in the 140 meter hook shot out of the trees that seemingly you connect with a little bit more regularly. Certainly notice a little bit more, but that is exactly where your game is going to go through the roof. You got to get really, really good from that 100 meter range, and it really can't be missed greens from there. You want to be hitting at least 80% of your greens in regulation from there, and at least making 3 from that point. And you've got to push yourself up to start challenging yourself to making that 50-50 mark from 130 meters or 120 meters, and then making sure that you're missing in the right spots. So as your strategy in terms of where you're trying to aim and hit the shot is a shot shape that is going to put you in a spot that you're going to be able to make up and down from. So thank you very much, Stoney. Congratulations on your monthly medal, mate. And you win a Callaway or Travis Matthew hat, thanks to our very good friends at Callaway, mate. What do you reckon of that one, Sammy? Was that explained okay, mate?
Well, no, it was very good. And Scotty Sheffield was saying something very similar this week where he said, I don't think about my swing or anything when I'm out there playing. I'm just thinking about how to play. I just think everything I'm doing is how to play. Like he's changing stance. He's every single shot. He's like, I'm going to put it back, because it's all about the playing, not just the swinging. And I think that was exactly what you were talking about, because maybe we forget about that when we're in the middle of the fair. I know I always say it, there's no one better at wasting a good drive than me. And maybe you've just solved that for me as well. So thank you, brother. Thanks to Callaway as well. Don't forget, buy one of those drivers. get a box of those balls. That's a very simple deal. The Quantum driver up for grabs, the Chrome Tour, they'll throw in as well a box of those when you buy a brand new Callaway Quantum driver, or buy 8 pieces of it and they'll throw in a Callaway bag to fit them all into as well. Just a little shout out before we finish, Lynchy. This came through from Ryan Hender. Ryan, who just wanted to give big props to a couple of young players from his home club, one of my home clubs back home at the Nyanga Park. Not that I've ever been a member, but I played it a lot growing up, who are deserving of a shout out. He said both are club champions at Nyanga and have just had an outstanding week at the 2026 Vic Junior Amateurs. Junior golf doesn't always get the recognition it deserves, so I thought they were well worth a mention. So well done to the two players. And Ryan, you did a brilliant job, but all you left out was their names. So, mate, thank you for telling us about the two lads, but you didn't tell us their names. But, brother, yeah, we're wrapped for them as well. And always great to see Bendigo people doing good things. Lynchy, we've got to get out of here. It's going to be a big week. Evian, Scottish Open, all of that as well. If you're looking for any of this gear, Course Language 20, check out for Travis, Matthew and Ogio. And remember, what happens on course plays on Course Language.
Hit 'em well.